Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. This is Sarah and I am here to do a brief overview slash tutorial introduction of our teaching channel partnership, which is giving us access to their wonderful platform called Teach Teams. So I'm gonna, for those of you who weren't at Space Camp, I'm gonna give us just a little bit of background. Those of you who were, you might find some of this to be review, and that's great, and you might want to skim through some of this. But very shortly, we're going to get to the technical review or introduction to getting on Teach Teams. And when we do that, you might find that the review is really helpful. So when we were together at Space Camp, one of the questions that we posed and talked about was really what it meant to be an ongoing learner. And it's kind of with that spirit of being an ongoing learner that we are embarking on this partnership with Teaching Channel in order to use this platform as a way for us to kind of crowdsource and get better together. I would really encourage you to take a little bit of time to Google this video. I'm not going to show you right now, but Google this video. It's called the Backwards Brain Bicycle. You can also find it on the website Smarter Every Day. And it's about this guy who created this backwards bicycle, and he uses it as this incredibly powerful metaphor for helping us think about what it means to learn and to relearn. So it's just a wonderful, I think, framing for what this whole experience for us is going to be. So let me just talk a little bit about kind of the premise of this work with Teaching Channel. As part of the Next Steps conference, we have often asked people, or often ask teachers, to talk about and share some of those classroom moments that really got them to this place. We spend so much time talking about the 30,000-foot view that we also know it's important to anchor all of that in our classroom experiences. And so that's what part of this is. It's going to be to share those lessons that got us here. Our purpose is then to elevate our practice by learning from each other. And certainly our promise is to create a community of teacher learners who are driven by self-directed inquiry, which, yes, means that you're going to get some choice in how you want to conduct your learning experience. There are a few details. We're going to do this pilot program that will take probably fewer than 6 weeks. There'll be 3 phases to it. The first phase will be everybody shares a lesson. The next phase is that we'll break up into smaller groups, learn more about those. The third phase is that we are going to all commit to trying some component of somebody else's lesson in our classroom. And we'll talk about the small ways you can do that or the more adventurous ways that you can do that. And in the end, it kind of becomes a lesson exchange. We exchange our lessons in different ways, and we learn how to get better because of each other. The final challenge, of course, is to get you amazing teachers to capture some moments of your teaching on video in an effort to get all of us to learn even more. So there are a few steps to getting set up on this. Before we go to those steps, I actually want to take you to the site itself. And I want you to see what we're working towards. So once you have been logged in to Teaching Channel, if you have given me your email address and registered, then you should have, when your cursor goes over that word groups right here in the toolbar, it should highlight, and that's how you know that everything is ready to go. So once that happens, it's going to take you to a page here that has lots of different groups. And right now we have 2 groups. As we progress, there will be more and more of those for us to keep track of. But right now, the one that kind of carries the tutorial work is in this place called Stories Get Started. So we're going to take a look there. When we go into this dashboard, you'll see that whenever you have one of these groups that, especially if it's a group that I've set up, there will be some learning plan steps, which means you can go to step 1 and then 2 and then 3. For your benefit, if you would like to go through this tutorial, you certainly can. It's kind of constructed around this idea of knots, of being in knots and getting out of those knots in kind of productive and metaphoric ways as well. well. So the first thing we wanted to learn here was just how to post a comment. So there's a little exercise, and then the posting the comment is very intuitive. You go to the dialog box next to your picture, you type, and you post. So that one is really, I think, very intuitive. Once you get done with one step in the lesson plan, you go back to your dashboard, and then you go to step number 2. For us, this was about looking at an additional resource. So in this step, we asked everyone to work on tying maybe a new knot, but do that by going to an outside source. And then once again, include your comments about your experience in a brief post. You'll also notice that you have some other options. So you can actually upload images, which is really easy to do. You just have your image, you attach your resource. And you can have a new resource or an existing one. You can upload a video to that as well. So those are all options. And we're going to talk about very soon how you actually can upload your own video right into this as well. So let's say we get through this whole tutorial. We're going to go back to our dashboard. And then we're going to go to step number 3. And for our tutorial purposes, this is the one that's a little bit more complicated because it allows us to use video to record it. So a little bit more complicated, but the reward is really awesome. So in this particular tutorial, here's the task, here are the resources, and then people can talk about how they did that. So you can see Shelby uploaded an image to talk about his experience, and then we have some videos as well. And I'm going to show you the power of video. So we're going to take a look at Sarah's video. When you upload a video, or when you just even upload or embed a video, so let's say you just attached a teaching channel video right into this team, you still would have the opportunity to do what we're going to do right now. So you see over here on the right hand corner that there are these opportunities to add notes. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch Sarah's video,
you can see that some of your knots are
and about right here, I want to make a comment. So I'm going to just simply go to add a note, and when I do, you can see that there is an automatic timestamp, and I'm going to add my note. Love the way you're staying concentrated. So I can put my question here, it can be my feedback, it can be my observation. You can imagine all of the possibilities for this feedback. We save it. And then all of these notes are here. And so Sarah has access to these notes. Anybody who's part of the discussion has access to the notes. And it's just a really powerful tool for us. So now that you know kind of the potential and the possibility, let's talk about how you actually get there in terms of your technology. So like I said, register on the site, follow the invitation that would have come to you after that registration, and then you want to do something, you want to download the the Teach Recorder from the App Store. So if you go to your App Store, you're going to look for something called Teach Recorder, TCH space recorder. It's going to look like that, right? That icon right there. And once you get there, you're going to have the opportunity to log in. So once it's downloaded, it's going to ask you for your email and password. You want that email to be the same one you registered on the teaching channel site for, as well as the password. And that's going to be your internal link to our specific group. And then you'll see, basically, you can just take video, which is awesome. And you can use the video for your classroom. I've used it certainly for classroom to interview students. You can see how people used it with the knot tying tutorial. A couple of things about this video. One of the great advantages to using this particular app instead of just a camera is that this app automatically compresses the video, which will save you so much time. It will automatically upload it to your particular group. You also have the option to trim it, which means that, let's say you decide to film 10 minutes of your class, but you really only want to share 90 seconds of it. You just trim the beginning and the end until you get to that 90 seconds that you really want to see. Oh, I forgot to tell you that you also have the option to always save to your camera roll if you want to do that as well. So once you have recorded your video. The next screen is going to ask you to choose the group that you want it to go to. You can see I have a lot of groups, but we are those stories getting started. So you would choose that one. And this would be the next image that would pop up for you. It's going to ask you to name that video, and it's going to talk about how it's going to save it. And then it's going to ask you one more time exactly where within that discussion, to which part of that lesson plan progression, which step in that lesson plan you want it to go to. You make that choice and then you submit it. And you're ready to go. So I know that that's kind of quick, and we went through that kind of fast. But I think that this is really an intuitive way to think about the work that we're going to do. And once again, the purpose of this was really just to focus on getting that technology and that background. So go ahead and do the tutorials if you want to. And I will be back soon with information about getting started with our step 1 and sharing those amazing lessons that have all gotten us right here.